We're live. Hey everybody, how's it going? Matt with Freestand here. We got a very special guest today, Gavin Milko. He is the owner of Passion Pieces. What is Passion Pieces and how did he get started?
So Passion Pieces is what we do is we make peace signs and clothing made to represent the passions of an individual. And the way we kind of do that is through our peace signs and then our clothing as well, which you can see right here. And pretty much it's a way when you look at your peace sign, and it's a way for you to kind of block out distractions and kind of be able to give focus on the things that you care about, the things that you love. And I just thought it was important that people had reminders towards them, because it just seemed like there's always so many things going on in the world. And sometimes I just felt like it was pretty easy to lose sight of that. And I think by having like just a small reminder towards your heart and, a slight vision that you have for yourself, I think it can really go a long way and kind of just like help, compartmentalize your life a little bit into, what's important and what isn't. Sometimes, we can have smaller passions in our lives, like getting a cup of coffee or going, to the gym, or just like our day-to-day little things. So it's just like, there's like the big things, and then there's kind of the little things too that I think are equally important to kind of follow. And, the name, I guess, like Passion Pieces, it pretty much comes with when you're following a passion that sometimes you're hit with, you're hit with these obstacles, you're hit with things that are going to get in your way. But ultimately, that it's something that you really care about. And through like following that passion, you'll eventually find that peace, that comes on the other side of it.
I think that's really relatable to Freestand in a way, because a lot of people that this is supposed to apply to is people that are trying to figure out what their passion is and kind of, figure that out through business and starting a business, an online business. We could probably move into like the actual products themselves. So I know you make like the peace symbols, the wood peace symbols, which are awesome. And then also you have some clothing.
Like if you see your standard peace sign, it normally will have a line coming down the middle, sort of like this. And when I first started making these peace signs, I started doing it, and I ended up just cutting like 75 of them. And my mom actually came down and she realized, she's like, Gavin, you're not, cutting the peace sign the way it normally is. Yeah. So it came out of a mistake. And there's been parts where it's like, do I go to the peace sign the way it should be? I feel like it would probably sell better, but then I kind of lose like that other side of it.
Yeah.
The whole, like the beginning part of it, it was literally, we kind of had a lot of these, there was a lot of this mass shootings going on. So I cut one peace sign and I put it on a tree outside my house. And this is actually the peace sign here. This is the first one. You could see
Very
it's
cool.
like a little bit more rigid and, not as, I guess, close to perfect as that one.
Is that one for sale?
No. This one I'm keeping. Hopefully, as long as I don't lose it, dude. That's like the biggest thing. I started cutting the peace signs, giving them out to friends and family, just realizing that, okay, these are great, but I wanted a way for people to be able to bring that same piece with them that they saw, like, and wear it essentially. So I make clothing, and you can kind of see here, it's just the simple, these are like the original ones with a little pocket.
Very cool.
But the whole idea with that was just like to be able to bring that piece with you wherever
and wear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that the first one that you made was because of school shootings, you said? Like,
Yeah.
is that kind of what inspired you to make the first iteration in the first place?
Yeah, 100%. Because it was like, there was a couple that had happened, but the one that really, got me to cut the first one was the one that was in Orlando, Florida, back in 2016. And it just seemed like, we were just having like one after the next. And when that one had happened, when that one specifically happened, like I personally felt, it was like lost, confused, what's going on in the world? Why are these things happening? And I just felt like, it was kind of two reasons. It was almost like a tribute to some of the people that were killed for no reason in these shootings, that they never had the chance to like follow some of their dreams and some of the things that they were passionate about. They didn't get to show the world, their piece. And so when I look at it, it kind of like, humbles me in a way that will bring me back to that place. And then, it was also just the way, again, it was just like things were crazy. So I could kind of look at my peace sign in the morning and just be like, what do I want? What's important in my life? And again, just to be able to kind of like take those things and just, settle myself and like, what are we here to do? Like, what am I here to do?
Yeah.
And it was just such like a weird time. And like, so like another kind of part of it was like, I started taking these peace signs and putting them on trees around my town and community. And that was like, kind of like a message for people who either were like maybe going through something and they just needed to see like a message of peace.
Now, like, why did you choose to kind of go down the handmade route, as opposed to getting these made by somebody, like manufactured?
A passion of mine would be doing woodwork. I love doing trim, and I worked for a builder, I worked for a carpenter for a little bit. So I've always had just a passion for working with wood. And it's just something that I love to do with that in general. And then also too, it was, to tie into that same message of that we all find peace in different ways, but we all share the feeling that it brings. And I thought that the Handmade Route was, it worked for that.
Handmade is much more in tune with your message.
Yeah.
I figured I had to ask that one. Like, is touching every piece of the process is great in a way, because it like allows you to make sure your quality control is there and your products are coming out the way that you want them to. And also, the other nice thing is you can change your products really quickly and test them pretty quickly, and just like see if people like new things, as opposed to just like working through a manufacturer or something where it's more difficult to do that.
And I think eventually, kind of my thought process on it was to maybe like try the manufacturer, have it as a side part of it, but then maybe to still do the handmade stuff, but just maybe do it in like smaller batches.
And you don't work full time in the business, right? You work part time?
Yeah, I do. So I do handyman service. I do this part time, and then I have I work at a preschool right now, and I do just like the property maintenance for the preschool. And then come like springtime, I do power washing, handyman stuff.
For everybody that just heard that, he does 4 different things. So if you think that you can't start a business or have a side hustle while doing other things like your full-time job, that's not true. You just need to make some time for it and just start small. And you sell online, offline, both. Is it, do you sell to friends and family, random people? Kind of talk to me about that a little bit.
I would say it's mostly right now online. I think, online, I mean, friends and family are huge. That was it. I'm still kind of like in that circle right now. But trying to break out of that circle, I think that's kind of difficult for a business. And, so I do online. I'm on Shopify, Instagram, store, and then like even just like posting stuff on Instagram, this shirt's for sale, or giveaways are huge. Giveaways, I think, are a great way to sell your product is just through like a giveaway through Instagram.
Do you do like one of those where it's like giveaway and then tag 3 friends, something like that? Or
Yeah. Those are like, I think those are like some of the best. I mean, I've also done like the farmers markets. Those are great. They haven't been like hugely successful for me. Like occasionally I'll run into like a really good one, but sometimes with those, it's like, it's such a hit or miss. You go to one and you do great, and then you can go to another and not sell anything. If you're ever really feeling up for it, like bring it out to, I don't know, like you could just bring it wherever. And like I've give them out to people, almost like, like someone who's like selling mixtapes, like they're just
Yeah.
showing and just take a walk on the boardwalk and just start handing your stuff out to people. If you have something that you're able to do that with, but even if you don't want to do like the whole process of setting up the farmer's market, maybe you're just like, look, I want to see if this works real quick. So I guess that's, there's always like another avenue towards that there.
Yeah. You got to just get them in front of people's eyes. Like that's you have to. Yeah. Here, what is your favorite part of the business? And then your least favorite part of the business?
My favorite part about passion pieces is that to me, it's always been a way that I can kind of like think of an idea and kind of like play with the world in a way. And I think that's sometimes nice about being in that like entrepreneurial position. So I love the fact of being able to think of something and then like throwing it out there and not having to like hold on to the idea. I really love that. And then I would say, I mean, that's me personally. And then like the business side of it is kind of like almost I love like the end result in a way. I love when people get the product, get their shirt, they get their peace sign, and they send me a picture of them, either wearing their shirt or seeing their peace sign like in their room or their business or wherever. That's what really keeps me going on any time where I'm doubting myself is that. And then as far as things that I don't like with it, it's like, so I'm in retail, so it's clothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like retail's tough. Retail it's like trying to always make sure that you have like the right clothes in and I feel like I never have the right amount of anything. So I think retail is like one part of it that I don't like. And then, sometimes social media is tough too. Sometimes it's hard to stay consistent on social media. Being kind of like one person in it right now, trying to like
do everything.
Juggle. Yeah. So
it can be very tiring. I think that's something that's super important to talk about is like social media. It's kind of just become honestly like this rat race between people and just like this constant flow of information and content. And it's like, yeah, especially for one person. I'm one person as well, but trying to do all of it at once. Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, like making the content, posting the content. Right, deleting it, putting it up again 2 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, you're so tired from staring at the screen.
Oh my God.
All right. So in terms of recommendations for somebody listening who wants to start a product business or any business in general,
find something like. It's weird.
Find your passion. Find a business you're passionate about.
Yeah, like find something you care about. I think that's like, obviously important to not like put yourself in a box. So it's like if you can think of something that kind of has different avenues towards it where you're like, look, I can create a product for this one thing here, but not to like put yourself into a box where it's like it's going to be that forever. So maybe thinking of something where you can come out with like a good product in the beginning, and then knowing ultimately that you're able to expand from there. That's what's always nice for me is just like knowing that there's different avenues towards it.
I think that's a great point, honestly. I've said this before. It's like, don't feel like what you first start with is what you're going to end with.
One thing for me that's worked great is like you can like create a character within your business. It's almost like, when Dave Portnoy does his pizza reviews, I do like these Jelly Monster reviews and I review peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
That's awesome.
And, dude, it's so fun. And for me, that's great because it's kind of like I can separate myself from the two. It's like Jelly Monster is like my alter ego per se. And I can kind of like put myself into like this other character that we're like in the world's, we're in search of the world's best peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So I would say like, if you can, start your business and then figure out something else that you can kind of create. It could either be, like a character or maybe like you could make music or something, but, I don't know. Cause what's nice about that is you can get engagement with your audience. So
you post that on like the Peanut Butter and Jelly Hunter. Do you post that on like your passion pieces Instagram and stuff?
Yeah, I do it through just through like the stories, you know. So every like maybe week or 2 weeks, I'll just be like, you know, new Jelly Monster tonight, 8 p.m. And I'll just get people that will send in these different thoughts of like how to make a peanut butter and jelly. You know, we've like put them in blenders before. We've taken them and we've made like s'mores out of them. I've put hot dogs on them, like trying to figure out a way to like really, get their ideas like implemented into your brand and product.
It's actually a great idea because it like adds a layer of fun to the business. You know what I mean? So it's just like this thing that you can look forward to, you know, if you're like tired and kind of like bored or whatever, because that shit obviously happens.
In an entrepreneurial way, I mean, you can get so lost in it sometimes. And I think it's like kind of nice to just step outside of it and just be like, I'm just going to say whatever I want. I'm going to do, you know, just like, I think now in the
Let
climate
loose a
that
little
we're
bit.
in too, let loose. Like the climate that we're in, it's you know how it is. It's like it's hard to make jokes and, you know, maybe say something like inappropriate or whatever. But I think ultimately that's what people want. I think you can figure out something. You know, you don't have to necessarily devote your company towards, you know, like saying, you know, for every product you buy, 10 trees are planted. I think that's like a great platform, but you can also, you know, one thing that we do is cleanups, and we organize these like community cleanups. Whether it's that one for one thing, which I think is great, or if you do like a soup kitchen or a cleanup or, you know, anything that can kind of like get your fellow community involved to kind of like stand behind your brand, I think is just like an awesome way to represent your brand and just to
Do
like
some
get.
good. So much for coming on, Gavin with Passion Pieces. And yeah, man, we'll do this again. We'll check in 2-3 months, and if you want to come back on, and
Definitely. No,
yeah,
this has been great, dude. I really do appreciate it. Just like taking the time and setting this up. This means a lot for any business owner to kind of just talk about their brand, and talk about what they're doing. So we all thank you.
absolutely. Well, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Um,
Can't do it without you. So, all right, Gavin with Passion Pieces. Thank you, everybody. You can stay on.
oh,
Peace.
That's